Hi, I'm John, and I'm going to demo version 2 of my Clipper Ship Overdrive. This is a dirty boost cascaded into a clean boost, and on the dirty boost side it's just a single transistor with some back-to-back diodes, and it goes from completely clean, at least unless you have really high output pickups, all the way up to a little bit fuzzy. And the tone control is one of AMZ's versions of Mark Hammer's Stupidly Wonderful Tone Control. So when it's at noon, it neither cuts nor boosts highs. When you turn it up, it increases the treble, and when you turn it down, it'll cut the treble. And the volume knob, with the gain at 0, it's around unity at about noon. With the gain all the way up, it never zeroes out, so you can turn the volume all the way down, and it'll be at unity even with the gain all the way up. And it'll give you up to about 20 decibels of boost on its own, and maybe 30 with the gain knob all the way up. I brought along a couple other pedals. This is version 1, so I'm just going to do a comparison later in the demo between especially the noise levels, because one thing I did when I redesigned it was really brought down the noise floor. And also it's a compressor over here just so I can show that it stacks well with other pedals and doesn't get weird like some transistor-based overdrives and boosts. So here's my bypass. I've got the amp on basically around 2 on every setting, and just a little tiny bit of reverb. And volume knob's all the way up at the moment. And here it is on a very neutral setting, no gain, tone at noon, volume at noon. So this should sound about the same. And real quick, just to show the tone knob, I'm going to turn it all the way up. So this will boost the highs just a little bit. It's all the way down. It pretty much never zeroes out, so it won't have a playing underwater sound. And now for the gain knob, I'll bring the volume down a little bit and turn the gain knob about 1/3 of the way. So that's really just a sort of edge breakup sound. And bring the gain up a little bit more. I'm going to bring the volume all the way down. Like I said, it doesn't zero out, so I can crank the gain all the way up and it'll be at unity volume. about this is even with the gain all the way up, you pretty much never lose any string definition. I mean, probably doesn't handle a 9th chord very well, but it's lots of 2nd order harmonics, so with the gain down it does seem to handle even complex chords pretty well. One thing about the gain knob, the way it's designed is it starts boosting around the lower mids and then also boosts the treble. So you can get a little more treble out of the circuit with the gain all the way up, and it'll never quite get into treble booster range, but it's a little closer. I mean, it's quite a bit of treble available when the gain's all the way up, and with the treble all the way down, it'll give a really smooth kind of overdrive, kind of bluesy thing. One other really nice thing about this, about the way it reacts to your volume knob, it'll clean up pretty much like a good fuzz face. So this is with the volume at max on my guitar. And this is with the volume on about 7 or 8. By the time you get down to 6. And of course, if you've got higher output pickups, the gain knob is really just the gain in the first stage. So when you turn the gain knob down, it'll clean up a little bit like turning down your volume knob. So you can tinker with the gain control and your guitar's volume control. I've brought along the first version of the circuit, and I'm just going to turn every knob up here, and there is some noise. This is on a humbucking position on my guitar, so there is a little bit of noise, not necessarily from the lights, although it might be, but right now I'm not going to play anything on this setting. It's boosting the signal about 30 decibels, so that's like, what, 4 times the volume of your guitar. Here's the original version, just to show what happened with the noise floor. So that's the way the original version was just hissing out of control with all the controls turned up. And the other thing I did was I made the tone control a lot less extreme on this one. This one, when you had the tone rolled all the way off, it had that kind of playing underwater sound. And when it was turned all the way up, I mean, it was okay for some things. But it was a little harsh with a lot of gear. So the tone control now is a little bit less extreme. And one last thing, I brought along a compressor just so I can show that the circuit handles having another pedal in front of it, which is sometimes a concern with especially other germanium circuits. This one uses a germanium in the first transistor, although you can really use anything you want. But so here it is. That's by itself. This is with the compressor. So still cleans up, reacts basically the same way with the compressor in front, so that was another thing I was really happy with about the design overall. But mostly with the new version, I'm really happy about the lower noise floor and a much more usable tone control. Also, I'm a little happier with the volume control because I like being able to just turn it all the way down and know that it's not going to be off, and not have to mess around with trying to get that first little tiny turn where it comes on. So yeah, if you're interested in building it, I've posted the schematic on my website as well as on a lot of forums, along with build reports and descriptions of how the circuit works. Or so yeah, if you like it, go ahead and build it, and the stuff's out there. So thanks for watching.